Okay. Hi guys. How's everybody doing? Well, we're just trucking right along. I've been busy today. I've actually gotten quite a bit accomplished. I actually stitched all of this signatures into all the journals, and I didn't tell you guys this before, but I feel like I should probably tell you. I actually wound up doing 10 more. I know. It's because I had so much paper. I had so much paper that I had cut and stuff that, fits perfectly in Reader's Digest. And so I actually had I keep saying actually. I'm going to stop saying actually. All right. Um, I had a bunch of the like smaller Reader's Digests, the like thinner ones. And there's also this set that are these like teenage ones. Comes in there's a box like this, and of course it doesn't say anything on it. But if you go on eBay, and it was funny, I was talking to Tracie about these earlier, and she was super mad because they can't find Reader's Digest in the UK apparently. So I don't know. Anyways, so I was trying to help her find these, and if you go on eBay and just search Reader's Digest box set books, you'll find this set. And they run, I mean, they're a little more expensive. They're all these patterns, so they're all kind of like pastels, all right? And yeah, you can find them on eBay. So anyway, they don't come in other patterns, I don't think. It was just like this teenage series that came out sometime in the like early 80s, maybe late 70s. I don't know. Anywho, so I just did these with a single signature. I added a little bit more paper to each signature though. So you guys saw me putting the signatures together. Well, I added to them the ones that I had left. I had like 20 signatures left over. Because remember I said I was going to lay out enough for 20 books, and so this is what I wound up doing. And I haven't completely finished these up because I thought I would sort of do that with you guys. So then these ones, these are just a little bit thicker. These I did actually 2 signatures in. Actually, I actually did these with 2 signatures. It's so funny how you get something like that in your head and you just can't. It's like you can't not say it. Yeah. Anyway, so these turned out pretty cool. So there's 6 of these. I got 2 purple ones. People like the purple ones. Well, I know a couple people that like the purple ones. Just saying. All right. So, yeah, so I stitched all these together. I used feed sack on the covers, and I had a really hard time. I started trying to be like matchy with the fabrics to the cover, and then I just went, what? Why are you doing that? Don't even worry about it, like this one worked out okay, and this one worked out okay, but I didn't do like a strip here because these have like a real wide blue part right here, and so I didn't want to like cover up that much of the cover by using just muslin, and then to give me like here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. See how on these I have like a little strip of muslin that's wider to sort of separate the cover from the pattern fabric. So I didn't want to do that on these because the strip of dark blue is a lot wider on these, and then I would have had to make anyways, it's hard to explain, but so anyways, I might add a little strip of rickrack on these. I thought that might be kind of cute. I might even do that on some of the other ones too. I don't know, but yeah, and I know that I mentioned potentially doing book plates on the fronts of these. I don't think I'm going to do it. I don't know. I used to do that, and I like the way it looks, but I just feel like if I was going to do that, I want to do it where I actually put the brad all the way through the cover, and then, you know, cover up the inside of it. And I wasn't prepared to do that. I forgot. And also, when I do book plates, and maybe I'll do a tutorial sometime on how I like to do these, but I actually like to do a little bit of a collage inside the plate, just on a piece of paper, right? And then I like to use like a really good adhesive, like E6000 or something like that, and glue these down to a piece of paper, that piece of paper. And then I like to fill that in with triple thick or with glossy accents or something like that. And it comes out really cool. So anyways, if you guys would like to see that, I could do a tutorial on how I do that. Just leave me a message in the comments, and depending on how many people are like, yeah, do that, then I will put that on my list. And if there's anything else that you guys would like to see, you know, sometimes it's hard to think of stuff, but if there's anything else that you guys want to see, just let me know, and, you know, I'll put it on my list. Okay, so here's where we're at. So the ones that I had fabric on the spine, I did the stitching where the knotting was on the outside. I left the strings so that you could add whatever you want on those. The ones where it was the book, where the spine was intact and it was good, I did not put fabric on them, and I did the knotting on the inside of the signatures. Okay. You know, I just think it's fun to like maybe tie buttons on these or something, and I might do that. I might not. I don't know. Depends. So I really want to get these done, but I really want them to be cool too. So, you know, I'm not trying to rush it or anything. Let me cut that off. Okay, so I glued the pockets in on the front and the back inside cover. These, yeah, so these are the ones that we made, you know, in the beginning of the series. And then I glued closed all of the envelopes. And yeah, so I already have done the notches and stuff in them. Excuse me. I need to burp and hiccup at the same time, and it's like really complicated. And then I glued in the tabs where I wanted them. Sometimes I don't really like gluing in tabs when I'm selling a journal, because I like for you to be able to put them wherever you want them. And I think it's presumptuous of me to determine where you want your tabs. You know, I mean, that's none of my business. But I had an idea of what I wanted to do on these, and I think that you'll like it. And then what I'll do is I'll probably include another pack of like mini tabs with each journal, so you could add more tabs if you want to, you know. So yeah, oh, one thing I did do that I thought was kind of fun is when I closed these envelopes, the ones that are like straight here, I just glued the sides. So you wind up with a little pocket right there, and then a pocket here. Okay. And so that's how these little green ones turned out too. So you get like a little extra pocket. Pocket. Tracie. Anyway, so that's all I've done. I stitched in the signatures and then glued in the you know, envelopes. I used Fabri-Tac. I think I used Fabri-Fix actually. Glued these in, and then added the tabs and closed the envelopes. Okay, so that's all I've done. And then, so I thought, okay, I might as well just sort of do that on one. So I didn't have enough of the pockets that we made together. I didn't have enough of those to kind of go around with all of the 10 additional journals that I decided to make. So I pulled some out of my stash that I thought would be kind of cool. And yeah, so I think I'm just going to use some of these. And, you know, And I don't care if they have a magnet. I do care if they have a magnet, but I can add a magnet later. So yeah, so I'm just going to glue that one in real quick. And I don't think I'm going to put, I don't know, maybe I'll put one in the back. I might just make another like simple kind of pocket for the back. You know, I'm not sure. I just don't want to take up a lot of room in these thinner journals with adding these kind of bulky items. You know what I'm saying? All right. Okay, so that is glued in. And this is a pocket. See? It's a pocket. All right. With just some, you know, fabric sort of layered on there. And then this envelope, when I just use a baby wipe and just barely, just with my fingertip, I just moisten that with the baby wipe and close it up. Sometimes on like really old envelopes, that doesn't work. Yeah, this one's going to work just fine. So, but sometimes the glue is really old if you're using like, you know, really old envelopes. And so that whole thing doesn't work. So these ones actually kind of curled, the glue part of these sort of curled in. And so I thought that would be sort of difficult to get a tag in there or something when, after I glued the sides shut. So to fix that, I just sort of fold this over, and then I'm going to use glue to close this because I want to make sure that it never comes open. Oops, got a little glue in there. And then I'm going to use the Fabrifix to glue the sides on these also, because it's going to hold real quick, and it is like basically bulletproof. You know, I know that this glue, that little tiny bit of that glue, is going to hold for sure. Okay, it's very reliable. Okay, and you can see where I accidentally poked holes through the envelope, but you know, I mean, I'm sorry, it was an accident. All right, so that's that. And then on these little guys, oh, I just don't think I'm going to do tabs. I'm not going to add tabs in these. I'll include a dozen tabs with these journals, with the little small ones. But I just don't, I don't know. I just don't want to do that in these. So anyway, so that's basically where I'm at. So I thought we could, just because, you know, that's a lot less than, you know, I need to do something more exciting on this video. So I thought I would just sort of go through what would be like my next step, okay? Because I'm going to do that to all those smaller ones. So here's what I'm going to do on the tabs. Let me show you what I was thinking. And I've done this on tags where I added a tab, but I haven't done that on, I don't think I've done that on journals. So I just buy those, the metal, well, obviously they're metal, but I buy these eyelets at Hobby Lobby. I think there's like 600. I think there's 100 of each color in the package, and I think these are like $8.99 or $7.99. But they're half price like every other week, and so one week that they happen to be on sale, I bought them online, because if you go in the store, they only ever have like 2 of these on the rack, and that kind of sucks. So, but if you go online, you can order as many as you want at half price, and so that's what I did. I bought like 4 of them just so I never run out, right? And then I just dump them in here, and I never like pick what color I'm going to use. I just use whatever I grab. And all right, so what I want to do is I'm going to punch a hole there and there. And I'm just going to add a little eyelet on each. I have no idea where that string came from. That's so weird. So then this kind of gives us options. Okay, that's going to drive me nuts. Okay. So then we can like hang stuff on there, right? And it also, because I didn't stitch these, all right, I didn't, mostly to save time, I decided not to stitch them on the sewing machine, because I've done this before where if I wanted to do tabs, I pulled out all the pages that I was going to put tabs on, and I put the tabs on before I assembled my signatures and stuff. But then it was kind of a hassle trying to keep that all organized. And so then it becomes a hassle when, you know, you have the signatures all assembled, but you haven't put the tabs on yet. And so then you have to go through the journal while it's sitting right next to your sewing machine and pull out each page that you're putting a tab on and run it through your sewing machine. So then I was thinking, okay, well, maybe if I just want the look of a stitched, you know, some stitching, if I just want the look of that, I could just run the tab through my sewing machine. But then I thought, well, then I'd have to do it on the front and the back. And it just turned into a big thing. So anyways, so I'm doing this, and I kind of like it, you know. I think it looks kind of cool. So, and Wendy of Wendy's Journal Adventures, she got me like hooked on putting eyelets in my tabs. I don't know. It's like, I just feel like eyelets are not, or tabs are not complete until they have eyelets. It's kind of funny. So I don't know if anybody has noticed, but I kind of stopped using my glue gun, my hot glue. And I think I had somebody that observed that. And so I think a lot of the reason that I stopped using it is because I stopped embellishing so much for some reason. Like I was really on this, if I was attaching clusters and things like that to pages and whatnot, I probably would still be using my hot glue. But since I've really kind of gotten away from that, I just don't ever really use it anymore. And I figure, you know, this kind of takes the place of hot glue in a lot of situations. And a lot of people don't like to use a hot glue gun because it gets globby and thick and it's weird and it's not flexible and that kind of stuff too. So yeah. So anyways, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a hitch post. I'm going to do a hitch post closure on these with a rubber band, okay, instead of ball chain. So let's switch this thing around to the larger size. Oh, whoops, wait, what am I doing? I don't need that. What am I doing? I don't even need to change that. But I do need to change it when I put the eyelet in the cover. So I guess it makes sense that I change it. Anyways, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to eyeball the center of this. I do want to make sure that I don't punch through my pocket, though. So, and I'm just going to point this out. In case you don't know, you do have a little like depth gauge thing here on the side of your crocodile. If you want to make sure that you're setting your eyelets all at the same position, you can use that little guy. So anyways, yep, I'm just going to eyeball this and punch right through the cover. And then, oh my God, I hope that was the front. Okay. And then there's my handy dandy pencil. So see, it's not perfectly in the center, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. And then I'm going to use my pencil and I'm just going to mark the teeniest, tiniest little pencil mark right there so that I make sure that I get these lined up, because I want to put an eyelet in. I knew there was a reason that I was switching that thing. So I'm putting an eyelet in the back, on the back cover. That my elastic is going to go through. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm also going to punch a hole here for adding a charm. It's just, you know, I can't not do that now. It's like I have to put my eyelet in the top of this cover. Okay. So then some people like to try to glue these too, but I don't know. I've never had one come undone. So I do put them on pretty tight though. And I just use this butter knife that I use for paint and all kinds of stuff. Come on. There we go. Okay. Then, so there's a couple different sizes of, these are just hair bands. Sometimes I use like elastic that comes on a roll, you know, but I happen to have a bunch of these. So I'm going to use the larger one because I feel like these are going to get kind of fat. So I'm using a larger band, and these are the ones that don't have metal on them. So they don't have the metal like connector thing. These, I get these at Rite Aid, and you know, they're the like the ones that are ouchless or whatever, so that they don't pull your hair out. And then so they have small ones and bigger ones, and I don't know what the difference is as far as the labeling, but there's two different sizes. So these would be obviously for a thinner journal. Now this is not gonna hold extremely well until I get until I get the journal kind of filled up. But I just loop it through like that, you know, and then, yeah, it hooks onto the hitch post pretty well. If you can't find these little small ones and you're making a thinner journal, like I'm like on these guys, then I would definitely recommend using elastic that is just like a string of elastic, and then just tying it off, tying a knot where you need it to keep it so that it's tight, so that it actually like puts tension on the cover to keep it closed. Okay, so that's that. And then, so obviously, like when I'm doing this, I will do all of that same process throughout the whole series. So I'll go through and I'll do all the eyelets in all the tabs, and then I'll come back and I'll do all of the hitch posts and the eyelets there. So that I have the same tools out, and I'm sort of like working smart, right? I get these little ball chain, they're like an extender, I think is what they are. I get these at Joann's, and they have them over by where like all of the cording and stuff is, the bead cord and stuff like that. And I think they come like 18 to a pack. So it's like 3 inches or something, maybe 4. Yeah, so it's like 4 inches of ball chain and a connector, and it's already put together. So I like these. Sometimes I use the Tim Holtz ball chain because it comes with a bunch of connectors. But I also sometimes buy ball chain by the roll, and then you can buy a little package of the connectors. They also have this ball chain at Joann's that comes, it's like an assortment. And this is a much finer, a much smaller ball chain. Comes in this different like assortment of different base metals and connectors that match. They're much smaller little connectors. So I like those two. And so this is just kind of my little ball chain department right here. They have these little hitch posts. I've mentioned this before. They have these little hitch posts. They're exactly the same as the Tim Holtz ones, except that the screw part is a lot shorter. They have these at Hobby Lobby, and I don't know if they're the Paper Studio brand or not. They might be, but the screw is a lot shorter on those. But I happened to find a bunch of screws that are exactly the same size, and they fit those perfect. So I saved these. I was super mad that those were so short. So they would only work on a cover that's really, really thin. But I saved these because these are nice. These will fit on a nice thick cover, right? So I can use these on other projects where I wouldn't be able to necessarily use a hitch post because it was too thick for either one of those screws, you know? Anyway, so that made me happy. So I put those all together in here. I don't remember where I found these, but I think I just had them in a drawer or something. Anyways, okay, I'm just rambling now. But that's basically where I'm at with the kind of finishing this up. So these kind of come loose sometimes, but you know, that's just how it is. If you don't like the elastic idea, you know, you could always use like something like this. Just like, you know, or even just like cotton twine, or any kind of like a strip of fabric or something like that, and then just tie it in a bow and then just loop it around the hitch post. Or you can use a piece of ball chain, which I do sometimes. I don't know. I might switch this over to ball chain. It just, I know I sound like I'm really wishy-washy, but it just kind of depends on how I feel when I start getting a bunch of stuff in these. If I like the look of the band on there, or if I would prefer the ball chain. The problem with using the ball chain is that it doesn't have any give. It's not like forgiving, you know? And you have to have it the exact right length for it to provide enough tension to actually keep the book closed. Otherwise, it's always going to be slipping off, and then it's frustrating. And so to combat that, sometimes what I do is I actually add a little extender piece with another connector so that you have a little bit of leeway. So like if you take a bunch of stuff out of your journal, you could just take that little extender off and hook it on something, you know, to shorten the chain temporarily. So anyways, so that's that. And then I just thought, you know what, I have all of this stuff, all of this fabric scrap left over from trimming these, and from, you know, other projects with like feed sack and stuff. So I have all these little strips, and I just thought these would be kind of cool to actually use on some of these tabs. Just, you know, just to put something on there and make it look sort of junky and neat, you know? So I think I'm going to do this. I'll just tie some little strips of this scrap fabric on these little eyelets. Maybe not all of them, but some of them. And then the other thing I like to do is just add a jump ring. Here's my other pliers. Oh my God, I have too many pliers in there. So add another jump ring, or add a jump ring. Oh my God, I'm losing it. Okay, that one's too thick. I don't know what's going on there. Here we go. So I'll just add a jump ring. Works better when you're doing this if you kind of position the journal this way. I like to add the jump ring if I'm going to be using bulb pens to attach things, because you know how bulb pens sometimes it's like they get twisted around and then they never like lay how you want them. But if you put the bulb pen on a jump ring first, then it's more likely to stay in the correct position. You know what I mean? So then what I'll do is just, here, I'll show you. This is what I'm doing. I'm just looking through this box of, these are all like antique and vintage buttons. And just attach some little charms on these. Don't necessarily have to do one on every single one, but I probably will. I'll do something on each one of these tabs, you know. So that's kind of how I'm going to deal with the tabs and the closure. And then I talked about the envelopes, sealing up the envelopes. I thought it would be cool to maybe make some tassels with some of these scraps, but I doubt if I will. I just don't want to take the time to do that. And then I'm going to make the dangles, you know, the dangle charm things. Probably just using one of those rings like I did on that one video. In place of the ball chain, if you don't want to use ball chain here, you could just use a little, one of those little Tim Holtz book rings, one of the little tiny ones on there, just to give you something to hook stuff onto. You know what I mean? These will probably all wind up with a key and some other stuff. But yeah, so I'm just going to kind of embellish like that. And then as far as tags and things that I'm going to add in, you know, that's going to, what I'll do is I'll just pull over my big box, and I can show you guys real quickly. Oh boy, the box, or the bin of all the stuff that I'm going to be adding into these journals. So hang on. All right, so we've got, these are just some book pages that I glued onto heavy cardstock or medium weight cardstock, and then did some stitching with a tab. And then I did the little calendar pages that I had printed. These are the tall tags that actually fit into these pocketses. Where is it? There's one in each journal. So some of them are shorter, some of them are taller. The pockets, I mean. See, some of them are, and some of the tags are taller. So these are just going into this tall pocket, okay? Each journal has one. And then, you know, I'll add little tags and stuff into the envelopes. And anyway, so yeah, those are the tall tags. What else do I have? Stuff that I kind of put together just for these journals. I have some larger tags that I made using another one of Tracie's kits. Oh my God. And can I remember the name of it? No. Some of the, these are those little vellum like note cards that I got from, that you can find on AliExpress, that I got from that one vendor on eBay, or on Etsy. And these are just some other like floral images and stuff, and I thought these are just things that I can paper clip into the journals. Some little little due date cards, and then some other just botanical images that are just printed on cardstock. So those can just get paper clipped in. And then some other little smaller images from Tracie's kits, and some other botanical images. This was a tag punch that I have, and some of the tiny tags from her kit that I've been using. So just some small little images that I thought, you know, you could, if you wind up with one of these journals, you know, you could embellish the tag yourself a little bit more if you want to. These are the blank cards that come with the kit. And then these are some of the collage tags that I think I worked on video. These are some of the journaling cards that are in that kit. Those kits, there's actually two. One of them is the Entomologist, and one is the Botanist. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff in here. And then these are just, you know, some shipping tags and stuff. I had some extra craft paper that I just folded into little envelope shapes. Some tags that I made using images from the kit. These are the tags that I made with the prescription pages. And there's a bunch of those. So there's a couple bundles of those in different sizes. Some smaller ones. And then I have a bunch more tags that I made just gluing images onto like a file folder, that like craft color file folder. And then these are more just floral images, botanical images. Some more tags, you know, so it's just all that kind of stuff. And so I did some images on, this is actually like overhead projector film. So I printed some images on those. So I thought I would add at least one of these to each journal, and it could be used like as a writing board, I guess, in a smaller sort of format. I thought these would be good as a writing board, or even these tags, these bigger ones. So that's kind of the, oh, and then Tracie sent me a bunch of little tea cards too. So I want to use some of these in the journals. And I thought maybe I could do some stitching around them, but I don't know. Or maybe add little pockets. And then I also want to do some of the round pockets and tags. I know Wendy has done those, and Tracie's also done a video on those using those little round, you know, round tag, because I did these and I don't think it's going to work for these fabric tags that I made that one night on live stream. I don't think they're going to work for that, but because the fabric doesn't really go in the pocket very well. But I still want to make the round tags. So yeah, and so then I don't know if you guys remember these. I mean, these are just super simple, right? But I just wanted to add some more of this feed sack fabric into the journals. So I just stitched, first I glued the fabric on and then stitched around it, added an eyelet and a piece of baker's twine. Just easy little round tags. And then these are some that I did where I didn't add the eyelet or the baker's twine, and I thought I could just maybe glue these into the journals and they could be little tuck spots. So I have other stuff that I want to like add in, but I don't know if that's really, you know, I might just wait and show you guys all that stuff on a flip through. So these are they look like Pokeballs. It looks like a little Pokeball. So I've been cutting out circles on the scan and cut because it's easy and fast and I can cut whatever size I want. And then so I don't know, I might do some kind of embellishing on some of these little round cards. I cut out some pieces of, this is coffee dyed watercolor paper, and you know, I just like to provide lots of places for you to write. So, and then I will also be adding some of these little envelopes, or I guess it's an envelope, it's a paper bag really, and then glassine envelopes and bags and stuff like that. So really not worth, you know, doing any kind of like process on that. Just kind of finishing up, I guess. I mean, that's really kind of all there is to it. I'm not going to do the book plate, so really, you know, they're going to be pretty much done at that point. I'm going to do the dangle charm, so those will just have buttons and keys and maybe like one dice. Maybe I'll tie some of these little strips of fabric on it or something. And yeah, and call them good. So these, I'm going to keep them a little bit more simple. So these would be good presents, I think, for Christmas presents or something. Anyways, I think this is going to be the last video of the little series. Unless I think of anything else that I really need to talk about. But yeah, so this has been a fun ride, huh, you guys? I think it was really fun. maybe I will do this again. I am going to be trying to get ready to move, and so I'll probably be doing some destashes. I've got a bunch of leftover stuff that I've had from previous live sales that I'm thinking I might just do a live sale and just try to liquidate that stuff, you know, so I don't have to move things that I have packed up as like kits or bundles or whatever that didn't sell. You know, I have a whole bunch. So I think I might do that. And then I also have purchased some new ledgers. So I'm going to be offering some ledger page packs pretty soon, like within the next, I would say 10 days. And then also bank stuff. So yeah, I think I might be doing a live sale, not a real long one, a relatively short live sale sometime in the next couple weeks. Anyways, I'm just kind of rambling on now, but yeah, so there we go. If I think of anything else, I will put it in the description. Like if there's anything else that I think of where I feel like, oh my God, I should have said that, I'll put it in the description. And I'll come back and I'll make a flip through video. And if there's any other questions related to anything in this whole series, put it in the comments on this video if you can remember, you know, and I'll try to remember to to actually answer it when I do the flip through video. Okay. And that'll probably be sometime early this coming week. Who knows? It might even be Monday for all I know. But anyways, yeah. So thank you guys for all your support and your participation. It's been really fun. I really enjoyed doing a series. It's the first time I've ever really actually done that, where, you know, it was making a journal from start to finish. So, okay. And I would love to see your journals when you guys get them done. So if you're not in my Facebook group, please, you know, come join the Facebook group. And then you can always tag me on Instagram too, you know, at 2silveroranges. So I can see what you guys did. Okay. All right. I love you guys. Take care. And I will see you soon. Okay. Bye for now.